The night sky hung heavy over the sprawling glass mansion on Crestwood Hill. Rain lashed against the windows as thunder rolled in the distance. Inside, the house was silent except for the hum of security cameras and the soft shuffle of a woman mopping the marble floors. Her name was Maria Alvarez, the maid who had worked there for 8 years. Quiet, invisible, and often underestimated. To the world, the mansion belonged to Richard Langston, a billionaire tech investor known for his arrogance and detachment. Few noticed the woman who made his life function behind the scenes. But tonight, Maria would no longer be invisible. At 1:37 a.m., the security lights flickered, then went dark. Maria froze, her hands gripping the mop handle. The power never went out here, not in this fortress of wealth. A moment later, the sound of glass shattering echoed through the hall. Her heart raced. She knew instantly they weren't here for her. They were here for the man asleep upstairs. 3 masked intruders slipped through the shadows, armed and confident. They thought it would be easy. A quick job, grab the cash, scare the millionaire, and disappear before anyone noticed. They had no idea that Maria, the quiet maid with tired eyes and a worn apron, had survived far worse in her life. She moved swiftly, almost silently, down the service hallway where the cameras didn't reach. Her mind was calm. She remembered the years she'd spent in a small town in Mexico, where her father taught her how to defend herself when danger came knocking. "Stay calm," he used to say. "Fear makes you weak. Compassion makes you human, but courage makes you free." The thieves reached the study first. The leader, a tall man with a scar under his eye, pointed his gun at the safe. "Open it," he hissed. But before they could force the code, the door slammed behind them. The sound startled them. A second later, the sprinkler system burst to life, spraying freezing water and disorienting them. Maria had triggered the emergency system from the basement. As the thieves panicked, slipping on the wet floor, she crept closer, wielding nothing but her mop handle and a fire extinguisher. When one of them spotted her, he laughed. "The maid, really?" But in a heartbeat she struck. Quick, sharp, efficient. A hit to the knee, another to the shoulder. The man fell, groaning in pain. The others turned, furious, but Maria was already gone, vanishing into the maze of hallways she knew better than anyone. She reached the panic room and found Richard awake, trembling, his phone in hand. "They're here for me," he whispered. "Just hide." But Maria shook her head. "You hide, sir. I've got this." He stared at her, speechless. He had never seen her like this, so fierce, so certain. Moments later, the last intruder found her near the main staircase. He lunged, knife flashing, but Maria sprayed the extinguisher directly in his face, blinding him before sweeping his legs and knocking him unconscious. By the time the police arrived, all 3 intruders were tied up with curtain cords in the foyer. The mansion was a mess, but everyone was alive. Richard couldn't stop staring at her. "You saved me," he said quietly. "Why?" "You could have run." Maria wiped her hands on her apron. "Because this house may belong to you," she said softly. "But everyone deserves to feel safe inside their home." For a long moment, he didn't speak. The millionaire, who had once dismissed her as background noise, saw her clearly for the first time, not just as an employee, but as a person of immense courage and heart. The next morning, the sun broke through the clouds. Reporters gathered at the gates trying to get a word from the shaken billionaire. But when they asked about the mysterious woman who stopped the attack, he simply smiled and said, "She's not just my maid. She's the reason I'm still standing." And inside the mansion, Maria stood quietly by the window, watching the sunrise, her hands still trembling, her heart finally steady. She didn't see herself as a hero. She only did what was right. But sometimes, it's the people no one notices who end up protecting everyone else.